It's called an unmanned aircraft vehicle or system, but it's more commonly referred to as a drone. Video production, site surveying, real estate sales, and sports. Drones are becoming a common business tool. But before you fly, you must know the rules.
If you sell footage, intending to sell footage from what you're doing, then that is a commercial operation and you must have that license to operate.
Any business operation requires a Part 107 FAA pilot license. If flying for recreation, you don't need a license, but you do need to make sure your drone is registered online.
If it's over 0.55 pounds, even if you're just using it for recreational purposes, you must register it with the FAA and follow some basic guidelines or rules of operation. A lot of people don't understand that, and they don't do that.
Besides registration, there are a number of rules you must follow when flying. The drone must stay in your line of sight. You can't fly above 400 feet, and you certainly cannot fly into any controlled airspace. However, post-Hurricane Michael, FAA rules were broken.
There was actually a FAA notice that came out saying you can fly above 120 feet. That was the maximum altitude that you were allowed, but people didn't know that.
Jose Lopez Baquero says drone operation after the storm was a whole new world.
It just so happened that the actual day of the hurricane, we were supposed to have a phone conference with the Tallahassee EOC to discuss, the project, how to develop the new rules for emergency use. Of course, it didn't happen, and at the same time, they sent us mission numbers from FEMA to be able to deploy our assets.
Lopez Baquero took on a new role, heading drone operations from the Emergency Operations Center.
We pre-stage our drones and our equipment at the Bay County EOC. Let's say Mexico Beach, they wanted eyes on, they wanted to see video of it. It was easier to send drones out there to be able to collect the data, the video itself.
The drones provided resources we haven't had before, allowing eyes in hard-to-reach places. But residents and out-of-town companies flying their personal aircraft to shoot video of damage interfered with some of the post-storm efforts.
People flying close to the helicopters flying by, so that was a little dangerous. The rule is the manned aircraft has the right of way, so if anybody's flying a drone and there's a helicopter and airplane coming, you land.
The FAA app Before You Fly populates areas you can and cannot go and also notifies the pilot of any temporary rule changes. Due to lack of service after Hurricane Michael, no one was aware of the changes and no one was really penalized for violations. But according to the FAA website, stricter regulations are coming later this summer to those who break the rules. David Deaton is an instructor at Haney Technical Center, one of the only certified FAA testing centers in Northwest Florida, and dedicated to certifying pilots and making sure they know the rules inside and out.
We're developing programs and plans in order to educate and train the community at large to come in and get their commercial license, be able to operate these drones both safely and legally.
Deaton says education is key, and Lopez Baquero says they learned a lot about flying drones during the storm, a lot of knowledge they plan to share with the rest of the region and even the state. Kelly Grossfield, News 13, Panhandle Strong.